Hello Animorphs fans and welcome back to AniLysis. Today we're looking at Elfangor's ship. So this is from the front cover of the AniLysis Chronicles and it gives us something that probably isn't actually Elfangor's ship. Because my suspicion for Elfangor's ship is that there's nothing particularly special about it. I'm really selling this video so far. Potentially he's had multiple ships, but we simply don't know. But I am talking specifically about the ship that he used to become a hero amongst the AniLysis and the ship that he crash landed on Earth in. Whether that's the same ship is entirely up to speculation as far as I'm concerned. There may be some little bits that you could say are clues this way or the other, but without further ado, let's look chronologically at Elfangor's ship. Where's the first time that he has a ship that he is in control of? It's when he gets dragged back through time, or space-time, by the Elfangor back into the AniLysis fight against the Yeerks. So he's been on Earth for a while, he's had a kid, Tobias, and then the Elfangor comes along and says, actually no, come up and join this battle. And he gets put into this ship. I aimed the fighter straight at the blade ship. I punched up a nice medium burn, and then I called up the blade ship. AniLysis fighter calling the Yeerk Visser. In a flash, the screen image changed, and there was the AniLysis face that had once belonged to War Prince Alaran. You, he cried. I am aimed straight for your ship, and in exactly 10 seconds I will punch up maximum burn. At this distance, it will take me less than 2 seconds to impact your ship. Get us out of here, top speed! Visser 3 screamed at his helmsman. The blade ship's engines glowed bright, and the ship broke away from the Star Sword. You think you've won, AniLysis? Visser 3 sneered. You're still just one fighter, and your dome ship is crippled. I'll swing around, move off, and finish you in my own good time. I wouldn't swing around just yet, Visser. See, you've cost me too much. Now I'm going to put an end to you right now. Computer, maximum burn. Whoosh! My engines lit up and I was blown back across the fighter's cramped bridge. Boom! My fighter hit the neck of the blade ship, slicing the diamond-shaped bridge away from the rest of the ship. But I didn't see that. The impact knocked me out and tore both the fighter's engines and its shredder completely off. This is a nice little parallel to the end of the series because Elfangor uses his ship to ram the blade ship. Oh, ram the blade ship! That's how the series concludes. And what happens? Well, he gets knocked unconscious. Do remember that this is the AniLysis Chronicles. This is the one where Elfangor basically put on a helmet and walked out into space and was absolutely fine. So it doesn't quite follow the laws of logic, nor the laws of physics, nor any reasonable laws imaginable. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt, but he uses his ship to ram the blade ship, basically like that character in Star Wars Episode 8. Is it The Last Jedi? Where you bang, go straight into the ship. Except he survives. The ship is in need of desperate repair though, because the engines and the shredder got blown off. So does that mean that this ship was basically out of commission at this point? The AniLysis come down and save Elfangor and he's declared a hero. And then we move a few years into the future. We then encounter Elfangor again on the dome ship. That's around Earth. And he ends up going into a fighter again and having a space dogfight with Yeerk forces again. This time, however, the Yeerks win, because the dome ship is bloody useless and slow and cumbersome. And Elfangor sees the dome with his younger brother fall and takes his fighter down to Earth. The dome ship was separated from the ship and plunged into Earth's sea. My brother, Aximili, a young Arith as I had been, was aboard. And I, desperate enough to break my own vow, took my damaged fighter down to the planet, looking for the place where I had long ago hidden the time matrix. So Elfangor takes his ship down to Earth, and this, of course, is where book 1 of the main series starts. And this is the Animorphs first seeing Elfangor's ship. So I looked up, and there it was. A brilliant blue-white light that scooted across the sky, going fast at first, too fast for it to be an airplane, then slower and slower. "It's not exactly a flying saucer," I said. First of all, it wasn't all that big. It was about as long as a school bus. The front end was a pod, shaped almost like an egg. Extending from the back of the pod was a long, narrow shaft. There were 2 crooked, stubby wing-like things, and on the end of each wing was a long tube that glowed bright blue on the back end. The little spaceship looked almost cute. You know, kind of harmless. Except that it had a sort of tail. A mean-looking tail that curved up and forward, coming to a point that looked as sharp as a needle. "That tail thing," I said. "It looks like a weapon." "Definitely," Marco agreed. We all just stood there as the ship hummed and glowed and slowly settled down in an open space between piles of junk and tumbled walls. I noticed there were black burn marks along the top of the pod section. Some of the skin of the pod had been melted. It touched the ground, and instantly the blue lights went off. Now, some of the descriptions we have there do differ slightly from this image we have here. There are other bits of Animorphs fan art that make it a little more accurate, but I'm pretty sure we can say that this is a basic Andalite fighter because it has some of the details spot on, like the egg-shaped front of it, the tail coming over, and the 2 wing structures on the side. There's just some minor differences. So I'm pretty sure we can still come to the conclusion that this is just an ordinary Andalite fighter, whatever those may be, and eventually we will do an AniLysis on the actual Andalite fighters, as in the standard model. So don't worry, we will get to those sort of details. In this AniLysis, we're just discussing the singular ship that Elfangor piloted. Working under the assumption that it's the same one that was damaged in the previous battle where it became a hero. Maybe the Andalites thought, oh, this is a proud ship, this was Elfangor's ship, repair it, and he uses it from then on. So that's assuming that the Andalites are sentimental, which I don't think we ever see, really. Apart from maybe Gaffinland and Myrtle, I think they come across as quite sentimental, or at least Gaffinland does. We don't know. We don't see much of the Andalite culture, so, again, speculation. We do get to spend a little bit of time inside of this ship, in Jake's shoes. So Elfangor basically says, oh, screw it, time to break the law of Zero's kindness, time to hand these kids, basically give them rifles. Yeah, it's like somebody going over to America and handing out AK-47s. Is this against the law? They're in a sticky spot. Here you go, kids. Go into my ship. You will see a small blue box, very plain. Bring it to me. I walked over to the door of the ship and looked inside. It was surprisingly simple. It looked cozy, almost. Everything was a creamy colour, with rounded edges and shapes that tended to be oval. That was one of the things that helped me to spot the box so easily. It was sky blue and square, maybe 4 inches on each side. It seemed kind of heavy for being so small. I stepped up into the ship. There was no chair, just a sort of open space where I guess the Andalite stood on his 4 hooves while he worked the few controls. There weren't a lot of buttons or anything. I wondered if the Andalite controlled the ship with his thoughts. I quickly reached for the box and started to head back outside. But then something caught my eye. It was a small, 3-dimensional picture. 4 Andalites standing all together, looking like a strange gathering of deer with solemn faces. 2 of them looked like very small kids. I realised that this was a picture of the Andalites' family. This is where the argument comes in that yes, the Andalites are sentimental when it comes to their ships, because we go into this ship, Jake looks around and he eventually sees a photo 3D image of Elfangor's family. So Axe is there, Elfangor's there, the parents are there. Which seems to indicate that this is Elfangor's ship. It's not like other Andalites will come in and use it, like they just when they go into battle, they've got a guy there saying, Elfangor, you take ship 2 today. Blibbity blab, you take ship 15 today. No, it's almost like this is Elfangor's ship. When he goes down to the fighting the dock on the dome ship, he knows exactly which ship he's going to. That's his ship. Only he pilots that ship. So I think that's what we can conclude from this, because unless it's just, I don't know, you don't know how alien technology works. Maybe as soon as he steps foot onto the ship and powers it up, a computer connected to Wi-Fi, and like Wi-Fi, says, this is Elfangor driving this ship now. We shall put up a picture of his family from the freaking hologram projector. We don't know. I'd say that's using Occam's razor. I think the first solution is the most plausible. So I do think there is that level of sentimentality, and this is Elfangor's ship specifically. Whether it was the ship that got ruined earlier, don't know. Again, can't say anything about that. Anyway, we do get a good description of the inside of the ship, but unless he did a paint job on it specifically, that's probably what all this model of ship looks like on the inside. All ships of this model. So there's not much else you can say about that we won't cover in AniLysis on the AniLysis fighter model. So let's move on. One strange thing about this, and something that's never quite explained in the description here, is where exactly this blue box is. Because the way it's written, Jake walks in, sees this place, and just sees the blue box. It doesn't say it's on the side. It doesn't say if the blue box is just in the middle on the floor. It doesn't say if it's in like a little cubby spot. He just sees it, picks it up and walks out. And we've got no idea whereabouts this blue box is in. It's just sort of sat on the side as if Elfangor knew that he would use it. How does it not, when he's flying around, because you know you've got a secure ship, if you're like on a ship, there's a thing called secure ship where you make sure everything is held down so things aren't flying about all the place. But one thing that you can say is Elfangor does, to a degree, control the ship with his thoughts, even when he's outside of the ship. So maybe, as Jake is going inside, he's using his thought speech telepathy skills to bring the blue box out of maybe a hole that it was enclosed in, bring it up just as Jake's walking into the ship. Potentially, because he's doing other things with his mind for the ship. For example, while all this is going on, he's doing his Hirak Delest and recording it using the ship. I, Elfangor Cyrenial Shantel, having transmitted all my last thoughts and memories to be sent through space to my people, now end my life. My Hirak Delest is done. I go in peace to my death, and I leave as my last legacy a single word for all the free peoples of the galaxy. Hope. Considering that the only thing there with Elfangor is his ship, he must be using his ship or something within the ship to record this Hirak Delest. He's talking to it from his laying down position, because I'm pretty sure as he's saying this, he's seen the Animorphs, so he's outside of the ship at this point, about to be killed. So while he's talking to them, he's sending off this Hirak Delest to something in the ship in order that the ship will then send out this Hirak Delest back to his people. There's also something else that he controls with his mind, and that is the ship's weapons system. The Andalite struck. His tail whipped up and over, so fast you couldn't really see it. The Visser twisted his head aside. The Andalite's tailblade missed the Visser's head by a bare half-inch, but it sliced into his shoulder. Blood, or something like blood, sprayed from the wound. Yes, I hissed. Ah! I could hear the Visser's howl of pain in my head. At the same time, a blinding beam of blue light shot from the tail of the Andalite ship. It sliced into the nearest bug fighter. Hawkbajir and Taxons scattered. Even crouching behind the wall, I could feel a wave of blistering heat. The bug fighter sizzled and disappeared. Fire! Visser 3 yelled. Burn his ship! The night exploded in blinding light. Red beams lanced from the blade ship and the remaining bug fighter. The Andalite ship glowed, and with a strange slowness, disintegrated. So Elfangor's ship dies with him. But there, Elfangor somehow used his thought speak to power the ship and take out a bug fighter with him. And that's not the only bug fighter, apparently, that this ship was able to take down under Elfangor's control. Apparently there were more. What have we here? Meddling Andalite? Visit 3 looks more closely at the Andalite's ship. With no ordinary Andalite warrior. Prince Elfangor Cyrino Shamtul, if I'm not mistaken. An honor to meet you. You're a legend. How many of our fighters have you shredded? 7? Or was it 8 by the time the battle ended? The Andalite didn't answer, but I had the feeling maybe it had been more than 8. I think we can safely assume he's talking about this battle that's just happened out in Earth's orbit. So I'm obviously not going to give all the credit to Elfangor's ship, but in this particular ship, Elfangor took out at least 7 bug fighters out in space, potentially more, definitely at least 8, considering just here on Earth, he's taken out one while he's been landed. So, you know, this ship has got a good old ratio, kill to death ratio, but unfortunately this is where it meets its end, and it is disintegrated by Drake on fire. Are we going to feel sentimental about Elfangor's ship? Only if we give it a name. So I named this ship Terrence. And Terrence, God bless his soul. But what was Terrence's last mission? Because Elfangor sent off his Hirak Delest, didn't he? Let's not forget about that now. Did Terrence, the ship, Elfangor's ship, complete that last mission of sending off the Hirak Delest? No. How do we know this? Well, the whole point of the Hirak Delest was to inform his people that he had died. Elfangor basically said, these are my last thoughts, last memories, this is my last message to my people, and yeah, those are my last words, basically telling people that he died. So if this had been successful, the ship would have sent that back to some Andalite transmission receiver somewhere, and the Andalites would surely know that Elfangor had died. Let's zoom forward to Book 8, the alien. Who are you? I asked. He looked surprised that I would ask. I am Ithilran Halas Korain, assistant to the head of planetary communications. Thank you, Ithilarium. My brother's life ended, I said. The dome ship was destroyed. I am the only survivor. I could see that this was a surprise. Ithilarium's eyes were downcast, and he lowered his stalk eyes as well in a gesture of grief. Your brother was a great warrior, and I mourn also for the many other warriors aboard the dome ship. Elfangor was the greatest, I said. My family doesn't know he's dead. I would like you to connect me with them. I could get interrupted any minute. I will do that. As soon as your family is found, I will connect you. But first, give me your reports. Abrith Aximili Kala, my father said. It was his nickname for me. I couldn't believe it was really him. Yes, father, it's me. It's me, Aximili. I am on Earth. I don't know how long I can talk. Not long. Is your brother there? It came so quickly. The question I dreaded. I almost lost the contact. I desperately wanted to see my father's face and listen to his words, but at the same time, I did not want to tell him that his oldest son was gone. And there was another thing I did not want to tell him. Elfangor, my father said. Is he? Father, Elfangor is. He was killed. My father looked like someone had punched him. He rocked back. We can safely say that Elfangor's ship Terrence failed in his last mission to send off the Hirak Delest of Elfangor. But apparently the ship was destroyed before that message could be sent out, or at least until the whole message could be sent out, because the military apparently doesn't know that Elfangor is dead. nor does his father. So we can pretty much safely assume that the message did not get back to his people, so it was all for naught. Once again, the Andalite Chronicles may as well be non-canon. You are an overrated book, Andalite Chronicles, and don't you forget it. Retconned to buggery, even though you came out after Book 8. You used a time matrix to retcon the thing that you came after. Whatever. That's Elfangor's ship, who we will sentimentally call Terrence. So the only real questions we have are, is it the same ship that he used to damage the Blade ship in the previous battle? If so, we can assume it was fixed and it became Andalite, why can I never say his name? Elfangor's ship, and he decorated it to suit his own purposes. Yeah, that's basically the only questions, because we don't get much else, really, on Elfangor's ship. It only plays a bit part, but yeah, it's time to shine. Thank you, Elfangor's ship, for basically being the first thing we ever see in the Animorphs series, other than the main characters. Like, there's not much more iconic than Elfangor's ship. It is just a shame that we never got that moment of maybe Elfangor saying, "This is my ship, Terrence, and we've been through many battles together, mate." Yeah, we never get that sentimental moment with this iconic bit of tech from the Animorphs series. But this is the video where we say thank you, and we remember the hero that was Terrence, Elfangor's ship. Thank you. You were in the TV series. That's how much you were loved and respected. So yeah, and that actually wasn't one of the worst. That was one of the better TV show episodes as well. So Christ, very important character, Elfangor's ship. However, you screwed up your last mission, so it was Axe that had to break the news to his family and the military that Elfangor had died, and while he was doing his Hirak Delest, he could have been telling the Animorphs more useful information, so basically he wasted his time. Sorry, Elfangor, sorry to say. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look at what we look at in the next AniLysis. It's time to spin the wheel. So I've got loads of freaking things here, and I'm going to be adding some more today because I'm going to be listening to some more audiobooks. So we've basically got all the potential AniLysis episodes up to and including book 14. Let's spin the wheel. Spin diddly din doo doodly dee doo. What's it gonna be? Who knows? Maybe me. And it's going to be Santorini's. I'm pretty sure that's the pizza place where they get their pizzas from. Well, it's got to be covered. We're doing everything in this AniLysis series, and so next time we're going to look at Santorini's. Santorini's. I'm going to get so many Italian accents in it. I need to do. It's a me. I might even dress up as Mario. No, I won't dress up as Mario. But yeah, that's next time. That's going to be fun, isn't it? It's going to be a joke episode, basically. So join us next time. We've looked at Elfangor's ship today, and I think it was worthwhile, good fun, and yeah, see you for the next one. Thank you very much for watching somewhere in the Animorphs universe. Ta-ra!